Hello, my name is Oliver Hertzberg, and today I'm going to present to you my TDR titled Can You Propel Through Water with Solar Energy, Solar Power. My tutor during this project was Pakistan, and I started doing this project in Primera Bachelorate, and I finished it in Segunda Bachelorate in the Instituto Santander. So my index has these 5 points that are the ones I'm going to present to you during this presentation. We'll start off with why I chose to do this project. So I had these 3 main interests, and that's how I ended up doing this project. My main motivation was, since I was very small, I like to build and create like toys or like projects like this one, and for like Christmases and stuff I've always asked for Legos, so I've always built Legos, and I built boats, helicopters, cars, so that's why I wanted to build something for my project. My second motivation to build this project was for the future. I think renewable energy is the way to go, because fossil fuels are going to end up running out. So renewable energies are a very good way of wanting to provide energy for the stuff that we use day to day and use fossil fuels. And there's lots of different types of renewable energies like hydraulic power or solar energy, and I chose to go with solar energy for this project. And the third motivation to do this project was the sea. I really like the sea and water sports, and also my mum goes paddleboarding every day, so that was a very inspirational thing for me, because I wanted to build something for her so she could do what she does every day and be able to go further, but without go further in the same amount of time. So that's how I came up with building a solar powered stand-up paddleboard. So I have my goals and my hypothesis. I had 2 main goals, some personal goals and some specific goals. My personal goals were to be able to search information, and with that information synthesize it and be able to put it into practice to be able to build this project, and also find out a lot more about renewable energies and solar energy and how it works, and motors and how they work, and batteries and how they work. And my specific goals were to be able to create a project and for it to work. So my first hypothesis was if it was possible to be able to create a transport with only solar power energy and no other energy resources to provide its movement. And my second hypothesis was if it was cheaper to make it all from recycled materials and not have to buy any new ones. So my framework, the 2 main bits of my framework were the stand-up paddleboarding and solar energy. So what is stand-up paddleboarding? Stand-up paddleboarding is a sport practiced on water where it consists of 2 main parts, the board and the paddle, where you stand up on the board and you then paddle with the paddle to go through water. And the second main part of my project was solar energy. So what is solar energy? Solar energy is when the rays of the sunlight shine onto solar panels and create the photoelectric effect, where photoelectric effect is when the photons of the rays of the sunlight shine onto the solar panels that are made up of electrons. And the solar panels have a layer of silicon. That layer of silicon has 2 different parts, the N part and the P part, where the N part has electrons and the P part has like holes. So when the photons hit the N part of the silicon, it creates holes, and the holes only can be in the P part. So the P part fills up with holes, and the electrons from the N part can only be in the N part, and that makes them move very, very quickly in the N part, and some of them get driven out from the N part, and that's what creates the solar energy. So as we can see here, is when the photons hit the electrons, and some of them get driven out, and that is what creates the solar energy. And here we can see the N-type silicon and the P-part silicon that has the holes and the electrons. So now onto my practical part. For my practical part, I wanted to build a fully sized second-hand solar-powered stand-up paddleboard because I wanted my mum to be able to use it. But as you can see in this first table, if I wanted to do it fully sized, it was going to be very, very expensive. It was going to be over 670 euros. So I had to think of another idea to make it more economical. So I ended up coming up with doing it miniature, a little model, as I have here. And we can see that it ended up being much, much cheaper and only cost me 12 euros. So here's the difference in price, where I ended up saving a 98.21%. During the creation of this project, I had lots of little problems, but my two big main problems were these. So my first issue was that when I was building this project, I was going to use this little motor that was from a helicopter I had that I dismounted, and I was going to use this to be able to power this paddleboard. But once I built all of the system and built it into the board, I saw that the propeller wasn't spinning very fast, so I thought, well, if I blow on it and it stops, it's going to mean that it's not going to be powerful enough to power it through water. So I blew on it in the opposite direction of where it was spinning, and it stopped. So I thought that if my breath could stop it, so could water resistance. So I opted to put in a bigger motor. This is the one that we have here, that I got from an old school project that I'd done. Then when I built the system that I had for the little motor onto the big motor, I had my second big issue. That was the system wouldn't work because the solar panel that I had for the little motor wasn't powerful enough to power the big motor. So I had to try and find a solution. And here we can see a video of the system not working that I built. So we can see here that it wasn't working because it wasn't powerful enough. So I had to find a solution. So the solution that I found was the big motor did work with a battery, a double AA battery. So I had to think of a way of connecting solar energy to the battery and the battery to the big motor. So as you can see here, the system that I ended up building was the little solar panel I had connected to a rechargeable double AA battery connected to the big motor. And the bit that we can see here is a non-off switch to start the motor and stop it. So here we're going to see how I ended up building the new system. Here we can see me connecting the cables to the big motor. So after finishing this system and putting it into the board, I ended up with my final product that was this. So I had this polystyrene board that I got from a box that I had. So the board was recycled, the motor was recycled, the battery was also recycled, and the solar panel was the only bit that I had to buy new because I didn't have any. And after putting the system into the board, I put a plastic cover on top to be able to waterproof it. And I put waterproof silicone all underneath the plastic to stick onto the board, and then I put duct tape all around it so it would waterproof the system and not get it wet. And here we can see me testing the final product in my swimming pool. can see the final product is work. So here we can also see that it works. And if we test it in water, it does also work. And this is my final product. And to end on my conclusions were, did I complete my goals? I think I did complete my goals, as my personal goals were, if I was able to find out information on solar energy and make this project work with that information that I found. So I did find enough information for this project to work. And also my specific goals were if I was going to be able to build this project and make it work. So being able to build it. And I think I completed both of them. Except that in the one to build it, I was expecting to build a fully sized one, so my mum was going to be able to use it. But I bumped into the problem of the economic part, that I wasn't going to be able to spend that money. But I ended up with this miniature model where it does work, so it is partially completed. And my hypothesis was if I was going to be able to power a vehicle in water fully solar, no other energy resources, and I completed that hypothesis. And my other hypothesis was to reuse all the materials to build this project. And I think I also completed it, except the solar panels I had to buy new, but all of the other materials were recycled. So I was able to recycle all these products to be able to end up with the final product. And my personal view on the project was, I think I learned a lot of how to organize my time and how to organize a project and work it all out so it would end up working. And being able to work on a thing for such a long period of time, I think it's very nice, but also very good for someone to have to work on something so consistently and then end up with a final product that they're happy with. And I would also like to say thank you to my tutor Sergi for all of the support that he gave to me during this project, and also to my parents for helping me out when I needed it to do this project. So, and that's it. Do you have any questions?
Well, you've answered. No, I wanted to ask you why you chose the paddleboard, because you say that you are worried about the environment, and it's not a way of transport, no, a vehicle that it's petrol motor, no. So why didn't you choose another vehicle that don't harm the environment? No? As the paddle surf, it's sustainable. So why you choose this transport?
I chose this transport because, how I said, my mum, she goes paddleboarding every day, so I wanted to create something for her so she could do what she really likes doing on a day-to-day basis. And I also do some paddleboarding, so I also wanted to do something that I could use, and it's something to it's like a relaxing time. Initially, I was going to do like a solar powered car, but the cost was going to be much higher than the paddleboard, and also it's something the paddleboarding every time it's coming more into our society, so everyone has either tried it or is going to try it, because every time it's being more used. So that's why I chose the paddleboard.
Okay.
And also in the future, do you think that this could be used as to make business, to do business?
I think it could end up being a good business, a business thing, because how I said with Janice, the paddleboarding industry, every time it's getting bigger and everyone is getting into it or is going to try it. So if it's motorized, even for lazy people that don't want to have to paddle, they can try this sport out without having to paddle. So every time how it's getting bigger and bigger, this industry is probably going to be a good business for the future.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you about this technical part of the project, because it is finally a technological project. I think you choose in a good way this dialing project. It's a way to show the improvement. And you finished explaining that you achieved the goal of building, even if it was a prototype, because it was only a matter of economic stuff. So, but I would like to ask, is it really just a matter of economic, or because I think you had some issues with the power of the motor? How would you see if you had the budget? How would you think you can make it in full size?
I think it actually already exists, because when I was researching on this to make it full size, there's already these motors that exist where the fins of the paddleboard are exchanged for motors. So it does already exist. So if I was going to do it in fully size, I would try to find those parts second hand. But the thing I wanted to create was something of my creation and not just buy it and have to build it. So that's why also a reason that I made it miniature, so it was something that I had to create.
Okay, and then another question about all your schedule. Because you began at the beginning of last year, no? Last course, October, November of 22. So how was this project developed through this time? Where did you get to try it and go ahead with this prototype?
So I started off in October, like you said, and for quite a while I was researching how to make it in full size, and that probably lasted a couple of months because I had to find out how to connect solar energy to a motor and how that worked, and that probably took a couple of months, and then having to make it small, I had to research it again to be able to connect enough power of a smaller version. But the practical part was the thing that probably took me the most, because how I explained, I bumped into lots of problems like the little motors breaking or solar panels breaking. So like I said in my diary, it probably took me like from April until about the summer of doing it every week, building a bit onto it and progressing to end up with this.
And just
No,
my last question. This prototype, you have inside that you didn't find the battery. No? How is it possible to replace it when once shoot, or you should remove all this?
Yeah, how it's solar powered, the battery isn't going to run out, because the solar panel is the thing that recharges the battery.
Yes, but however, you know that there's a life of supercharge. So
Yes.
this day put right if you use it a lot.
Yeah.
In general, so it's not now you should.
Yeah, I'd have to take all of the duct tape out, or from underneath, how it's polystyrene, I could cut it out and change the battery and then stick it back on.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this
Yeah.
project.
I think that when you put hands on something, you realize how difficult this is.
Yes.
And
I thought it was going to be quite straightforward and I wouldn't bump into so many problems, because I thought I was going to get the solar panel and connect it to the battery, or connect it straight to the motor, and that was going to work. But while I was doing it, I saw that every little thing either didn't work or I had to find another way to do it, and yeah, but I really enjoyed doing it.
it's a physics teacher. We try to, solar energy will teach physics like this, but then you try and you realize that not enough power and the voltage,
Yes.
lead doesn't, and Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Now, if we have to